Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's give it a minute for everyone to hop in here. Let's check the calendar. What do we got? 10 o'clock. We got ISM PMI. 10 o'clock. We got ISM PMI. Let me put this up here for everyone hopping in here. There we go. So 10 o'clock, ISM PMI. Super important. All right, both have 3 stars. Okay. So just make sure you're aware of that. Let's delete this. So SPY down 0.2%, Q's down 0.26%, breaking below this flag. I do have some calls from yesterday, which if they don't hold right at open, I'm gonna have to sell them. I think they're 450 calls, so it's not too far out of the money, but most likely pretty much dead. September is notoriously a bearish month, and it's starting off on the right foot, exactly how expected. Right, any pop that we get, in September is typically sold off. So just just try and remember that. Q is down 0.25%. Right, previous resistance acted as resistance, had that little fake breakout to the upside, rejected again. Now we're moving back to the downside here. NVIDIA, right, tried to play NVIDIA yesterday. That breakdown ended up just consolidating, moving sideways all day. It looks good again today for a possible breakdown. All right, resistance, acted as support, rejected once, twice, 3 times, 4 times at this level that it needed to break out to go to the upside. Again, rejected, down 0.35%. So if this starts to push down, I do like puts again. I would try again for puts. We'll see how that goes. So looks pretty solid again. We'll definitely watch that, because if this can break down and we can get a push to 473 or so, 474, those are going to pay big. Netflix was flagging, right? Netflix broke out, huge move to the upside, caught a little bit of a gain there. Started to flag. Now it's down 0.26% pre-market, right back below this previous resistance. Microsoft was flagging too, right above previous resistance as a new support, but market's pretty weak here, pre-market, so it's pulling it down a bit. Meta could be huge today, right? We broke this resistance. Now we tested this resistance here, right? Here's a resistance, here's support, rejected again, and again, right? So numerous times it's tried to break through this level and it rejects every time. So if it can do it today, should see a nice move to the upside, but everything's weak, right? So, you don't really want to play opposite, but it's a solid setup. So we'll keep an eye on it. AMD also rejected the breakout point, right? Looks solid here on the daily. Huge flag on the daily. Huge flag on the daily. And it rejected that breakout candle, 111.64. Needed to break through that. If anyone has any questions about anything, let me know. Right, needed to break through that level, couldn't break through, down 0.3% pre-market. Amazon down 0.4% pre-market, broke out of this downtrend after creating that initial double bottom here. Right, pushed up, rejected, and now it's starting to create this like consolidation. I mean, you could chart it like this, it's just not the cleanest. We'll see. I'll set an alert right above in case it starts to break out. Apple does not look good at all. Right, there's just like no pattern here. It's just like straight up, pretty much. So I can't really look at anything there. Square, nothing really. Nothing really there. Tesla, so a solid move yesterday after hitting this previous resistance as a new support. Bounced right off of it. Pushed up, now it's creating lower highs. If it can break through If we could break through 258, looks pretty solid. Might push to that previous 264 level. We'll have to see. PayPal just chugging its way to the upside. BABA, not really doing much. Google. So Google, we had this resistance. It is making these lower and lower highs. Higher lows. All right, so we could watch it like that. It's not the cleanest of all setups, but Google's been on fire recently, so we can keep an eye there. We'll move it next to Meta, right? Both are green here, pre-market. Shop, lower highs. If it can break through that, looks fine. Down 0.7% pre-market. Has a lot of room to run to the downside. Has a gap below. Coin, nope. Rivian, and no. So SPY had the cleanest setup yesterday. Wasn't able to break out, unfortunately. Typical September start to the month. UPST, let's take a look. Almost no movement here on UPST. All right, so definitely wait until there is. Needs to break through 34.25 to potentially break out, right? Resistance. Previous support, so there's that. What's everyone else watching today? What is everyone else looking at today? Roku said they're firing 10% of company. Yeah, that's usually just short-term bullish. Wow. Yeah, they're up 11%. So the wedge played out. But short-term bullish for sure. You're watching Tesla, Ant? Interesting. What are you watching? Calls on Tesla? Or puts? You're watching XOM. Let's take a look at XOM. Okay, XOM. No, I don't really see any flag or anything there, so I wouldn't watch that personally. SLB. And Roku. Oh, Roku is what we just looked at. CTNT. You guys like these names. You're watching Netflix puts. Yeah, you probably like to play energy and banks and all that, right? I like to play tech, and I like to play, the mega caps. Everyone has their preference. I used to play U guys and D guys a ton. It's not a thing anymore. I used to play it a ton, but they got rid of it. Anyone ever play U guys and D guys? Oh yeah, let's take a look at VIX. So VIX is consolidating here, right? We do have an inverse head and shoulders. All right, left shoulder head, right shoulder. If this breaks on VIX, this high, I'm loading puts on SPY. Well, if this starts to break down, we'll probably test 445. It's really the next major level. I'm trying to see here. This we could use also. Right, so this previous double bottom acted as a resistance here, acted as a resistance. So you can use that level too, 448. How's JD? J and D. So has this resistance or support, excuse me, and then has this double top as a resistance. So it needs to just break through this range, right? It's been chopping sideways. So it either needs to break to the downside here, or it needs to break through 34.98 for continued upside. If Apple rejects 190 gap, it's so close. Let's take a look. Yeah, what else is everyone looking at today? Oh, you're watching for this to fill here. It is close, but it's down 0.8% pre-market. It's probably not going to hit today. You like SPY puts if they go for gap fill? Yeah, I like SPY puts too if it starts to break here. Although there is no gap fill here. Or if you're, what are you talking about? To the upside here? AFRM you're looking at? Let's take a look. AFRM's been on an absolute tear. So once it broke this previous resistance, this resistance here, it's an absolute tear. Pushing up to this next high. Starting to stall though, right? Look at that candle. Pulled back, starting to consolidate. All right, so you're looking for a move to the upside and puts up against this previous support as a new resistance. I like that. Definitely like that. You're watching MP. MP, sorry. I had a call coming in. I like how it's sitting below, oops. This previous support acted as a resistance. It's pushing up over it in pre-market. JP Morgan initiates coverage at overweight. So it's probably moving up on that. But yeah, looks pretty solid. Even this downtrend here, right? It's breaking out of this wedge, this resistance. So that looks pretty solid. AMD, yeah, I'll go over it again though. All right, so on the daily looks fantastic. Huge flag on the daily here. Right, huge flag in the daily, right? Here's the pole, here's the flag. yesterday it rejected 111.64, which is the level it needed to break out. And it's sitting right below that. So if it can push through there, then it looks good. PLTR. Let's take a look. You said it's forming a triangle. So on the daily, right, it has this resistance or support. I need my coffee. Has this resistance up above. Let's take a look at the lower time frames. So, all right, look at it. This huge shelf here is something that you need to watch. All right, support, 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 acted as resistance now. So if it ends up pushing it back up against there, right, just be mindful of that big shelf. All right. You got it. You might be watching. Oh, yeah. Airbnb new local 11 in New York City. Let's see. Does it show it here? They're joining the S&P 500. They'll join the index on September 18th. It's my birthday. I know there's new laws regarding, you know, they can't have more than 2 guests. They need to have minimum 30-day stay. It's ridiculous. All yeah, I keep seeing it on Twitter. Yeah, Delta situation. It's funny. The emergency landing. It's too funny. But what's my top setup for the day? Let's see. Nvidia, I like again if it can reject here. Netflix, Microsoft looks solid if it starts to break out of this flag again. Meta looks solid if it breaks out here. But I get a little sketched out playing, you know, opposites, right? If SPY and QQQ are weak, breaking down, I don't really want to start playing calls on, you know, individual names. It's just going to pull it down. But, you know, it's just a sign to play a little bit smaller. Meta does look very good, though. Yes, I agree. So maybe we'll watch that. This would probably be my top watch, Meta. All right, I'm going to go set up the Zoom, guys, so that way we can get in a little bit early. Appreciate everyone stopping by. As you can see, Meta starting to push up here. It's up 0.7% now. And we will see what happens. Appreciate everyone stopping by. Thank you for watching.